Welcome back for video game news. A relatively light week, at least in major stories, gaming wise, but still have a few things to discuss, opinions on, and also quickly, outside of video game news, but in game news. Uh, Over the past weekend, we saw the four teams that will be playing in their respective division championship games, and of course, who will go on to the Super Bowl. We have on one side the Buffalo Bills, which will be going at it with the Chiefs. At home field advantage goes to, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs. Also, we have the other game, Green Bay Packers, which will have home field advantage versus the Buccaneers. Thank you, Tom Brady, for that, by the way. So, quickly in news, those are the final four teams, and then probably next Monday, I will mention, just quickly, of course, who will be going on to the Super Bowl for February the 7th. So, with that out of the way, there has been a few, nothing really new game deal wise. Unfortunately, no real new game sales. I checked eShop yesterday for possibly new deals, and pretty much it's mostly the same thing and the same sale thing on PSN right now. So, because they're having their holiday sale, which has been going on for 2 to 3 weeks now. So, quite a while, and the sale ends in 2 days. So if you want to take advantage of any of the deals going on, and that's so, take advantage of it right now while you still can. So with that out of the way, what are a couple of the specific stories that caught my attention the past week? The first one, we saw the co-founder of course, CD Projekt Red come out apologize in what I call a YouTube apology, which genuinely I think that they really don't care. It's obvious. He tried to do fake like crocodile tears and stuff, and I don't feel sorry because you kind of put yourself in that spot. And trying to say that was trying to mainly focus more on the PC side of things and then having to downgrade for consoles and trying to blame it on the hardware manufacturers. Excuse me, but last time I checked, originally Cyberpunk 2077 was announced in 2013, basically at the very beginning of the 8th console generation. So the fact is, and then they didn't actually officially really start working on the game until like 2016. So I don't want to hear that crap from CD Projekt Red. Just because you made The Witcher 3, a hugely beloved and enjoyed game by many gamers, myself included, does not give you the reason to try to basically flush away all of the goodwill that you gained from one amazing game. Sorry, but you lost all that goodwill with Cyberpunk 2077. If you want to play a good Cyberpunk type of game, interesting, maybe not great in graphics, but still it's a good game with some 3D effects, mostly in 2D animation style, I recommend a recently picked up game actually that I just recently bought. And that is Since, a Cyberpunk Ghost Story, which is a really interesting game. It's a survival horror, 2D survival horror indie title in a cyberpunk setting. It's actually quite interesting. I've enjoyed so far what I played of the game. And it is interesting because it plays kind of like a side-scroller type of game, and I appreciate that. Some originality, some uniqueness, and flair. That's why I like indie games, because you can always expect something unique and different from the indie game scene. The same thing from the indie movie scene. Give indie stuff a chance if you've never played or watched indie stuff. Check it out. And I appreciate the game company that made the game because they stood up to selected individuals who actually gave death threats and stuff just because the game was not considered, I guess, friendly to some groups. But personally, I appreciate the game studio for actually having the stones to actually stand up for what they believe and did not censor anything. So I appreciate them for that. I don't always agree with some stuff, but I do appreciate when a game maker is like, will stand up to a vocal minority of gamers or specific people and basically tell them that they can take a hike. To put it G rated. With that said, also in gaming news, outside of all that stuff, we have the announcement of apparently that Nintendo is now hardcore going after um, different studios are well, not studios, but individuals trying to make or really basically infringe on copyrights, in my opinion. Trying to make supposedly like sort of sequels and stuff, fan made games and stuff. They went through over the weekend. They went after more than 300, and I've seen on social media, on Twitter, specifically on Facebook and Facebook groups I'm in gaming wise. I've noticed there's a lot of people bashing Nintendo, but I look at it from a different perspective. I look at the thing going on like, well, maybe the people should have known you really shouldn't be trying to make a fan-made game around Nintendo-owned IP. Technically speaking, from a business and legal perspective, you can't do that and not expect repercussions from Nintendo. Nintendo is really known for it. And by the way, it's not just Nintendo themselves, Japanese gaming as a whole, because in Japan, that is considered very dishonorable and very disrespectful to take an IP or something owned by a Japanese company or individual and then try to do something and then make a profit off of it without any permission of the IP holder, which owns the IP, trademark, everything, legally speaking. You should expect repercussions for your actions. It's called what you sow you reap, or the threefold law, or karma, however you want to call it. Expect some backlash for doing something technically illegal. And the same thing goes for, I'm not a fan of burnt games, burnt movies, and stuff like that. I support going out and buying something through legitimate legal means. I don't support those things. If you only want to burn games and stuff like that because you don't want to pay money, well then you have no right to complain if a game studio is like, oh, we're just going to cease production on the game because the game did not sell so many copies. Or some. That's what happened with Darkstalkers, Resurrection, Remaster. People are like, we want Darkstalkers 4. Well, you should have gone out and bought the remaster version on PS3. I went out of my way, ordered through eBay from Japan, and got a physical copy because I showed Capcom that I wanted another Darkstalker game. I follow the policy, speak with your wallet. If you don't like something a game studio or a movie company is doing, don't buy any of their products. That's what I've been doing with Disney. I disagree with some business practices Disney's been doing as of late, which is why I haven't bought anything Disney related, anything owned by Disney. That is the oath I live my life by. Speak with your wallet. And I don't believe in illegal stuff, means of getting a hold of movies and things like that. I don't support that idea of burning things. Not a fan. I support strictly legal, authentic means. And that's the way I will always live my life by, is by that motto and set of rules. But anyways, enough with that rant and stuff. onward to the next and the last of the major story. Um, it's been confirmed from Lucas Studios. Well, Lucas in general, but it's more or less just Lucas Studios now, unfortunately. Lucas Arts is long gone, which sucks. Um, Electronic Arts, at least for the meantime, is no longer going to be making new Star Wars games. They lost the rights. Though Electronic Arts is like, we'll just wait here for the next opportunity and look forward to making more games. Yeah, after you kind of burnt all bridges with Star Wars fans, pretty much. Yeah, good job there. Yeah, they made a great game called Jedi Fallen Order, a very much a soul similar to a Souls type of game, at least from maybe a difficulty and gameplay perspective, perhaps. But with that said, Battlefield 1, I will admit, is a okay game, only because when I picked it up, I got the game for like $8, and I got all the DLC super cheap as well on sale one time. So, like, I think everything combined, I paid maybe $13 for everything. I wasn't. And by the way, I bought the game pre owned. That way, no money actually went to EA. But with that said, the at least for the next several years, but also I will say Battlefield 2 sucked. And I have no interest in playing Rogue Squadrons. It looks like garbage as well, like mostly anything from Electronic Arts today. But no, Lucas has decided to go with another AAA game company, another juggernaut company, at the same level as Activision and Electronic Arts. Now, from some perspectives, I view this company less bad, but there's definitely a lot of questionable stuff that's been going on behind the scenes with former executives of the company, which have a lot of sexual harassment and a lot of other suits have come against. And from everything I've read and actually looked in depth on stories on, pretty um, good reasons why they were fired, though unfortunately the actual CEO of the company has allowed this stuff to happen under his watch. So maybe the CEO needs replaced. But anyways, the company that will begin Star Wars for now is going to be Ubisoft of all companies. I admit that is very interesting. It's definitely going to be quite a change, I get the feeling, gameplay wise, from other games, though maybe not too insanely different from some like Jedi Fallen Order. Because if the personally, I would love to see a Star Wars game playing like Assassin's Creed games, specifically like games like Assassin's Creed, uh, like Unity. Yes, I'm a defender of Unity. Assassin's Creed Syndicate or Origins. I would love to see a Star Wars game in that sort of setting, like gameplay perspective wise. I feel it could be really interesting and unique. But I would love to see like a bounty hunter game in that play style. Like, I don't know, maybe do a game around either Jango Fett, though they already did do the bounty hunter game years ago. Great game. Or do like a Assassin's Creed style game revolving around Boba Fett. Or heck, how about the main character from The Mandalorian, since that is now a recognized IP? The Mandalorian series may get into a game. That could be quite interesting, like an Assassin's Creed or like Prince of Persia style gameplay wise game with the setting of like The Mandalorian or, like I said, Boba Fett. That could be very unique, interesting. I would love, and I will admit, I'm very intrigued to see what kind of Star Wars games we will get from Ubisoft. Because to be fair, I think in the past 10 years, even behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff I don't agree with Ubisoft game wise. Though I don't like a lot of Ubisoft's shooter games, I will admit, as time has gone on, I do have kind of a guilty pleasure enjoyment for Tom Clancy's The Division 2. And to a certain extent, Tom Clancy's The Division. Those are the only Tom Clancy games that I actually don't mind in recent memory. They're about the only shooters I've found myself actually somewhat enjoying. Outside of that, um, the Assassin's Creed series, I've been a big fan of Assassin's Creed for years. So I'd be interested in seeing it Love the Rayman series also from Ubisoft. They've done quite a few solid, great games, so I am definitely curious to see what they will do with the Star Wars IP. Now, personally, I would love to see them give the Star Wars IP over to somebody like Square Enix. That could be interesting. Like Square, maybe make like a Final Fantasy, like action RPG style game with the Star Wars setting. That could be really interesting. I mean, or a turn based, like, Star Wars game. That could also be fascinating, but we'll have to wait and see what will come from Square or from Ubisoft on future Star Wars installments. Thank goodness for now, Electronic Arts has lost the rights to Star Wars. Thank goodness. Now we can only cross our fingers and hope that Ubisoft makes something really good quality. But with that said, I'll see y'all next time. Stay safe. See you again. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel. And hopefully next week, hopefully this team will be going on to the Super Bowl. We'll see. But see you soon enough. Stay safe.